Okay, good morning from Nai Harn beach area in the south of Phuket, Thailand, where I live, and I blog at freetheanimal.com. I think it's a sign that the rainy season has passed. Let's hope so. This is Richard Nikoley on my morning 7-kilometer barefoot walk, and doing a post, and I figured I'd shoot a video to kind of inspire me to finish the damn thing. Not that it's particularly long, it's just that I don't want to just regurgitate what everybody else is saying. And it's about the elephant in the room, so to speak, Elon Musk and his acquisition of Twitter, and what has transpired since he walked in to let that sink in. And I think there's a lot of meaning to that, right? Let this sink in, because what this really is about. See, either Twitter is not of importance, or it's of extreme importance. And I think it's the latter. And it's not because it's a silly little social platform that has a 280 limit character limit, which began as 120, which corresponded at the time with the limit for SMS, phone-to-phone texting. That was the technology back then. And they've kept it at, in 2017, they kicked it to 280, where it remains. And I think that's part of its allure, because it focuses thought and pithiness. So even though you can do tweet threads, far and away the most tweets are just single tweets. So you got to convey whatever idea you want to convey in that 280 characters, and it's doable. Typically what I do is I write it out. It's always over, and then I edit it for essentials to get it under the 280. But anyway, the theme I want for this post and this video is make Twitter fun again, right? So, keying off the whole MAGA thing. And that's what, that's primarily, after all is said and done, that's what Elon has done and is doing. And it's driving the left fucking batshit crazy, and it's so hilarious to watch. Because he's not doing any damage. In fact, he's fixing damage. And anyone with just a gram of self-honesty and intellectual integrity can plainly see that, right? They just presumed it was going to be a shit show, and it isn't, right? And it infuriates them because because it's so innocent, it exposes how abjectly vile and evil the political left of America, and indeed the Western world, is. I'll tell you what, I think I have more respect for China, communist China. They don't make any bones about it. We don't want this. We don't want Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. I don't know if they still ban it. They just block it at their own internet entry points. You can get around it, VPN and stuff like that, but they just block it. Whereas the West is all this bullshit, pretense, weasel words shit to make it seem like bald ass censorship of speech is somehow legitimate. It's not. It's not, and it's being exposed that it's not. And they're gonna fucking lose this battle. They're gonna lose it. And they know it. That's why they're afraid. Their tweets are dripping with fear. Because when they lose Twitter, they will lose everything. Because, for the simple reason, that Twitter will be the place that people want to go. Because you can basically say what you think, politically, socially, without fear of being censored. And that's important too. You know, because much of this stuff is about chilling speech so that people don't even write what they really think or feel for fear of being censored or having accounts suspended, especially when they have business dealings on it. They use it for their business, right? So that's one part of it. The other part is, and I'll get back to the fun aspect, but the other part is that it's just watching fucking journalists. Let me say that again. Fucking journalists. They have a degree in journalism, which is basically a subcategory of an English degree or any language, right? They don't know shit about anything in particular except how to write, how to lie, how to spin, how to propagandize. That's all they know, right? And to ply their craft that they learn and try to get good at and notorious requires censorship. That's why all the famous journalists, you know, back in the, I guess going back to however long, you know, since print and then radio and then television, then talk radio, and then cable news, and so on. They always had positions of prominence because the censorship was a closely guarded secret, because they're the only platforms. So if it didn't get out, it was considered by most to not be newsworthy. Not that, oh, can't put that out there. So it's a very, you know, narratives were very uniform. There weren't many of them, right? Now there's a million narratives, right? And what's going to be popular? Well, if you have the capital infrastructure of a media outlet, whether it be, you know, print, radio, television, or now internet, social internet media, and all of the mixes of all the same, then there's the number of narratives is really unlimited, and it's not constrained by anything. What you have is that now there's so many narratives out there, so many differing viewpoints, that you have to have censorship. What they do is they strive to be, you know, amongst the top in terms of viewership, and then they censor competing viewpoints. And a lot of that is advertiser motivated. Because face it, big corporation, whether it be food or whether it be pharmaceutical or what have you, and those are the top two, is that, you know, it's about people's, you know, health and well-being and so on. So you have to have a pretty consistent narrative about it in terms of the big prevailing predominant narrative, and that requires censorship. So the advertisers say, well, we want you to kill these sorts of stories and promote these sorts of stories, you know. so that everything always looks consistent and this is what you're supposed to think and so on. And there's still lots of people, especially older folk, who are like that. You know, the retired lazy boy, getting fatter and fatter and unhealthier types, you know, are still like that. There's one narrative, right? And for a lot of the old folk, it's the false alternative. Either you embrace the left's narrative or the right's narrative. You know, the lazy boy dwelling retired folk watching Fox News are every bit as fucking stupid as the lazy boy retired folk watching CNN. Yeah, here's one way that's funny is the Newsmax app. I'm pretty sure it's available on iOS. I have it on my Android smart TV, actually, and it's one of the few that actually streams live, and they don't have any broadcast, so all of their advertising is designed for that, whereas others who stream live, you know, they kind of go off the air, or they just go to blank screen when their broadcast stuff or cable stuff is streaming advertising. Well, it's very interesting to watch Newsmax, and you can get an idea of their viewership by the ads that they run. I shit you not, like 100% is like free stuff, or quasi-free, or make you think free, or you know, just like bullshit and sky is falling stuff for old, retired, lazy boy dwelling types. It's fucking disgusting, really, right? You won't see a fuck one ad about getting off your ass and being vibrant as an old person. Oh, it's all worry, right? Oh, I gotta buy gold, I gotta prep, I've got to do this, I got to get a reverse mortgage, I got to get this health plan and this health plan and this health plan. Fuck off. Get off your fucking lazy ass. Jesus. And stop watching fucking Newsmax or Fox or CNN or MSNBC. Okay. The other thing about Twitter, you know, is that yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I'll put some specifics in when I write the post, but it's fun again, and that's in spite of all the nonsense from the left about it. You know, it's breaking all records in terms of viewership and action, breaking records worldwide. Right? Isn't that funny? So the last there's one thing though that is troubling. I don't know. I'm having a pretty good time watching it, but yet I sit there watching it from a separate account from what was my long-standing account at Nikoley for years and years and years, since like 2007, I guess. And I had like 8,000 followers. Only followed like 100 or 200 or something like that. That was built from my blog back in the paleo days, and where I was an influencer. So anyway, but one of my friends during that whole paleo days thing, I've even interviewed his friend, so is his girlfriend. I was invited to their wedding, everything. You know, we had some words, right? It's two guys and boom, boom, boom. So he threatens me with violence if I do this again. And I said, well, here's my address. Bring it on, right? So Twitter banned me. Permanent. Like that. Never had a problem before. Boom, permanent ban. Him? No. Probably because I was on a shadow banning, throttling kind of deal, because my tweets did not get much exposure, and many people who are my followers say I never see your tweets on my timeline ever, right? So because I was there, any pretense to ban me, and I've appealed it a number of times, always with the same answer. But because Musk talked about amnesty, I thought, well, let me appeal that thing again. So I went in there, I appealed it, and this time it was different. I got an actual response back from Twitter that looked almost human-like. It said, okay, we're going to review it, and basically, if there's any additional information you'd like to add, drop it here. So basically, I'm like, geez, I'm tired of this shit. I've explained it a million times. And so I added some stuff. Basically, what I just said, hey, it was a spat between two friends. You know, it's over with. Yeah. Regrettable, but it happens, right? This isn't like going out randomly, you know, shoveling shit or, you know, intimidating or bullying strangers, you know. And so this morning I wake up and like it's still, I get the same canned response back, blah, 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 hateful conduct. Hateful conduct. Okay. So basically I have a message for the electric car rocket ship maker. This hate speech thing is bullshit. It's weasel words, and there is no such thing. There's speech, and it's either free or censored, right? One man's hate speech is another one's sonnet to the gods or to beautiful women or something. So, what hate speech is it is speech that I disagree with or I don't like, or ironically, speech that I hate. Hate speech is speech that I hate. Right? And that's the truth of it. So it will never really be resolved until they stop with that nonsense, because it kind of bakes into the cake you playing on their defined field, and you can never win that, right? So what you have to do is undercut it and say, fuck off with your hate speech. There is no such thing as hate speech, right? And so it's just it's subjective bullshit. It's like it's like saying you're writing I don't like speech, or something like that, anything like that. Your speech is disdainful. Yeah, so what? Fuck off. How's that for disdain? Right. So, guess that's it for this installment. Tidy it up a little bit. Maybe think of something else. All right.